again, everyone. I'm Paul the Nitro Scars, and welcome to this edition of the Nitro Corner. Today is Saturday, and it's time for part 2 of our special MIchael Maurice weekend report. As always, as I said yesterday, this weekend is dedicated to young MIchael Maurice, who is undergoing a kidney transplant. We wish him the best of luck and speedy recovery. And by the way, Mr. Maurice, check out the end of the show. I got a unique challenge for you. Just tune in near the end of the show, and I'll be glad to tell you what it is. So let's begin first with a SmackDown report, and then I'll do the Nitro Top 10 for this week. SmackDown opened up with Sheamus scoring a big victory over Khali this past week. First one to break out of the head vice, and then put him away with the Braun kick. Very impressive win for Sheamus, and it was announced at SummerSlam that Sheamus will go one-on-one with Mark Henry at SummerSlam. Should be a great matchup. Next up, Natalya defeated AJ in a singles matchup, and then Natalya, just like Beth Phoenix, turned her back on AJ and beat her up, saying that, "Sister, I'm with you." No, this is called Sister. It's a recyclable idea. Couldn't we come up with something original? And then Booker T gets all excited about it, going, "Man, they're getting down there. They're getting for real." Booker, this is a recyclable idea. If you don't see it, then I feel sorry for you. Who knows? That's all I can say. Next up, Randy Orton delivered a promo saying that he'll help Christian go through Randy's anger problems. Basically, the no-holds-barred match at SummerSlam. Next up, my boy, Daniel Bryan, Mr. Money in the Bank, defeated Tyson Kidd in a pretty good matchup. Daniel Bryan looking forward to one day facing Wade Barrett in the very near future. As you know, he has stated that he will cash in his Money in the Bank contract at WrestleMania. Can't wait for that. Next up is the Zack Ryder state of the, I forget that term he used, but the Ryder state of address for the assistant general manager. Basically a waste of time. He calls it his fans Sacktown. And he delivered his State of Showski address. Good thing I wrote it down. State of Showski address. Go figure, folks. Ezekiel Jackson came out there, immediately interrupted, and asked, "Why did you put me in a 2-on-1 handicap match last week?" Well, as soon as Zach got his first words out of his mouth, here comes Cody Rhodes saying that Ezekiel Jackson was a disgrace as Intercontinental Champion and that he was going to take the title from him. Well, Big Mouth, if you quit hiding behind Ted DiBiase all the time, maybe you will get the Intercontinental title. I highly doubt it. Teddy Long comes out there, interrupts, and makes the match with Zack Ryder taking on Ezekiel Jackson, and Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase are barred for ringside. Well, it was a pretty simple match. Ezekiel Jackson delivers the submission victory over Zack Ryder. Next up, in what would be Vladimir Kozlov's last WWE match before being released this past week, Mark Henry defeated Vladimir Kozlov and injured his ankle by wrapping his ankle in a steel chair and delivering a splash off the second rope onto the ankle. Sheamus runs in for the save. That's a real nice way to say goodbye to Vladimir Kozlov. Leave him while he's injured. Yeah, that's real appropriate. Wish him well in his future endeavors. Whatever. Next up, Sheamus delivered a promo. It was pretty funny. He was going to take Mark Henry and kick his butt so many times that he's going to boot him so hard he'll fly into the ocean with the Shamu and the Dolphins. That was pretty funny. Shows you a lighter side, so to speak, of Sheamus. Next up, a 6-man tag team match as Michael McGillicuddy, David Ortunga, and JTG defeated Trent Beretta and the Uso brothers in a 6-man tag team match. And like I said, Ortunga and McGillicuddy are probably going to be the most forgotten tag team champions in the history of the WWE. Unless they do something spectacular, I don't really see them having any remembrance at all as tag team champions. Next up, they reviewed the CM Punk, John Cena, Triple H incident from Raw this past Monday. And then in the main event, in a mild upset, R-Truth and Christian defeated Randy Orton and John Morrison, as Christian got the pinfall victory over Randy Orton. Looks like more heat for Christian and some momentum for him as he head into SummerSlam for the no holds barred match against Randy Orton at SummerSlam. At that and SmackDown for this week. Overall, SmackDown was a pretty decent show with a good main event, and Ezekiel Jackson dominating Zack Ryder. Some things are, and of course the announcement of Mark Henry taking on Sheamus at SummerSlam. It was a pretty okay show as far as I'm concerned. Now, it is time for the Nitro Top 10 for this week. So let's get right into it. Very interesting Top 10 this week. Let's get started. Number 10 is the Pope, D'Angelo De Niro. He picked up 3 big points as he won a reverse decision disqualification over Samoa Joe this past Thursday on Impact in a Bound for Glory Series match. Next up, number 9 is Mark Henry. Mark Henry drove Vladimir Kozlov out of the WWE and injured his ankle. It should be excuse me, I had a whistle with the Pepsi. And it'll be very interesting to see how Mark Henry does against Sheamus at SummerSlam. Number 8 is the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus. Sheamus, the first man to break out of the head vice of the Great Khali, and then delivered the Braun kick and scored a pinfall victory over him. He also saved Vladimir Kozlov from further injury by chasing off Mark Henry. Next up, number 7 is Rob Van Dam. Rob picked up 7 points as he and Crimson defeated Scott Steiner and Gunner in the main event this past Thursday on Impact. Number 6 is one half of the Knockout Tag Team Champions, Miss Tessmacher, as she pulled a mild upset over Madison Rayne this past Thursday on Impact. Number 5 is Devon. Devon scored probably the biggest upset of the week as he pinned AJ Styles with a roll-up to gain 7 points in the Bound for Glory series. Number 4 this week is Beth Phoenix. Beth Phoenix won the Divas Battle Royal and then turned her back on the fans and Kelly and said that the bleach blonde you-know-what days are over as champion. Number 3 is Christian. Christian defeated Randy Orton in a tag team match this past Friday on SmackDown. As like I said, he's building momentum towards SummerSlam. Number 2 is Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson back near the top of the Nitro Top 10 with that nice promo he did this past Thursday on Impact with the Meatloaf song. Very original. And now we have a brand new number 1 wrestler in the Nitro Top 10 this week, and it is none other than CM Punk. The promos, the shoot promos he did against Triple H and John Cena this week really build up momentum for him as they head towards SummerSlam to determine an undisputed WWE champion. CM Punk trying to make wrestling fun again. And that is the Nitro Top 10 for this week. Now, as I promised Mr. Michael Maurice, I have a unique challenge for you, and I hope you'll be anxious to accept this. Tomorrow on the Nitro Corner, as we wrap up the Michael Maurice weekend, I'll be doing a special edition of the booking sheet for Hardcore Justice, coming up tomorrow night on pay-per-view. My challenge to you is this. The main event for TNA's Hardcore Justice will be, of course, for the Impact World Heavyweight Championship between Kurt Angle, as Kurt Angle challenges Sting for the belt. My challenge to you is to pick a winner. That's right, I'm calling you out, Mr. Michael Maurice. I'm calling you out with your prediction. Who is it going to be? It's real simple. Is it going to be the Stinger himself, Sting, or will it be the Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle? You can type in your answer at facebook.com under your website. I'll be more than glad to pick up the message from there, or tell your friend Brute Force. He'll be more than glad to send the message along to me, or send it in with my video that's also on the Facebook as it is being done. So I hope you're real ready to accept the challenge, Mr. Maurice. Who will it be? It's your choice. I'll give you my choice tomorrow as part of the booking sheet. And that is it for this edition of the Nitro Corner, Part 2, the weekend report for Michael Maurice, who's going to undergo a kidney transplant. Tomorrow, the classic match of the week and the booking sheet for Hardcore Justice. Until then, I'm Paul the Nitro Scover saying, so long, everybody.